Hey, what's
Ahead.
going on, Billy?
How you feeling?
Billy Bruce, what name am I calling you
Hey,
today?
you know what? I decided I was going to go with my government name for
All
this
right,
podcast. I said I'm gonna do
okay.
William Robert Jackson.
William Robert Jackson.
Billy Bob for short.
William Robert Jackson sounds like a very strong name right there.
It is. It
It sounds
is
like a very
very,
strong name.
very strong
It
name.
sounds like a name I read in history class, like dude that own a plantation or something. Yeah, go ahead. Really, Robert Jackson.
Go on down there to William. You Williams
Yeah.
property. Go on down there to William.
Yo,
Julisa, how you feeling today? You good?
I'm good. I just got back from the gym, so I don't know if I told you, but like I've been working on my health. That's kind of the number one top priority for me this year.
That's good.
And so I've had to do a lot of like mental shift and all of that just to stay disciplined. And now that I feel like I have the discipline down with actually showing up at the gym, now it's those other things to make up for, getting in the best shape, like nutrition. If I'm like, okay, I got this part down, I can get my ass to the gym. Now, what do I need to do to maximize my time at the gym? What do I need to eat to, perform at the best when I'm at the gym? And ultimately when I'm, leave the gym because our body is still burning calories or whatnot. So it's been a
Right.
process, but it's going pretty well right now. So I'm happy about that.
That's good. That's good. Any before we get started, any good news? You got any good news you want to share before we get started?
And good news. Good news is I woke up today, you know what I'm saying? I'm
Okay,
here another
okay.
day. But I've been working on my music. That's what most people know me as, the musician, artist or whatnot. So found out one of my songs was in LA, not LA's finest. It was in LA's finest, but that's an old show. All American Homecoming. So the new All American
Wow.
spinoff. And that was really exciting news. I had put on my vision board things I wanted to accomplish this quarter. So first quarter, I kind of was just freestyling things, and I'm like, wait, let me get back on track. I wrote down a bunch of goals I wanted to accomplish in quarter two, and getting 4 song placements on television, film, what have you, was one of them. So I've gotten 3 knocked down so far. Found out 2 of my songs is on 2 shows. The All American, Long Slow Exhale, I guess it's a new basketball show. And then somebody just hit me up this week to do a song for their short film. So I'm like, hey, let's go. I'm with
Oh,
it.
that's what's up. Hey,
Mm,
congratulations. I want to go ahead and
thank you.
applaud you.
I
Applaud you
appreciate
on that.
that.
I like to
Yeah.
start this thing off on a good note, get the good news. I think the good news for me is I'm finally almost at the stage where I'm ready to release this book. For those that
Mm,
don't know, this podcast is birthed from my book called Gifted by the Creator, and I believe that each and every one of us are gifted, and that's some of the questions I'm gonna be asking you about today, Jaleesa. Is
okay.
have you discovered your gift?
Mm. I mean, I like to think that I have, but who knows? I like to think that I have. I would say one of my gifts is the gift of storytelling, and
Mm,
it's so crazy because like it started when I was a kid. Actually, when I was in grade school, we had to write a story. I don't even remember what the story was about. I know what I wrote though, and I don't remember what the topic was, but we had to write a story. And for whatever reason, I didn't want to. And everyone had to share it in front of the class. I'm in second grade, and I'm like, man, I don't want to share my story. And so the teacher's going through the list. Everyone's been sharing. It's been a few days, and then she's like, wait, Lisa, you haven't performed. I mean, you haven't shared your story. Back then, everyone called me Lisa.
okay,
That was like my nickname. So then I was like, oh, and I was like, okay. And then I like whenever I would do anything because my parents they had their own production, play production and whatnot. So I was always around like talented people and artists and actors and all of that. So whenever it was time for me to do something, I would perform it because that's what I saw. I saw
right,
these people
right.
doing it like this. So when I read my story and it was about like magical candy bars, and like the candy bars flew in the sky and all that. It was like the
Oh
Snickers
wow.
and the Butterfinger, but I said it in a way where it felt like I was performing it, and my teacher was
Mm,
like, "Wow," and that happened a few other times in my life when I was a child, and so I knew that one, I could tell a story, and two, I could entertain people. And I kind of used that to my advantage as I would grow up. When I was shy or, didn't know how to make friends, I knew that if I could entertain people, I got them. I got them.
right.
And so
Right.
I kind of went off of that. But then I started getting into like basketball, right? So I
Mm,
played basketball since I was like 7, 8 years old too, and I got really good at that. So I thought that was my gift, but it was other people pushing me towards that more than I was pushing myself towards that. And so I had got burnt out, and really want to. I didn't want to play anymore. I was like, nah, you guys took the fun out of it and stuff like that. Like, if you see my videos on Instagram or anything like that, I'm just playing basketball, but I'm having fun doing it. So I thought that was my gift, and I would dabble into music here and there, and I started taking that more seriously when I was in college. And I would say, and all of that, because I've done so many different things, I would say storytelling is my gift.
okay. Okay.
Able to tell
That's
a
good.
story. Yeah.
That's good. So for those who don't know, let's dive a little deeper into you as a person, Julisa. You're doing music, right? You're a music artist,
Right.
okay, and you're a songwriter. Am I correct?
Correct.
Okay. And what else am I missing? What other title am I missing? What else do you do that the people should really know?
So I do a bit of writing as well, as far as like screenwriting goes. I have a
Uh,
cartoon show that's out called Julisa Who that I
okay.
have created with my friend, who's also a writer for a few TV shows and stuff like that. So I've gotten some web series up, and yeah. So writing,
That's good. That's
writing,
good.
it all encompasses kind of like a lot of things I have done. I feel like it all encompasses around the same thing as far as like writing, storytelling, whether it's, I started like a magazine at one stage of my life, and it was still just writing, storytelling, saying all this stuff. So,
Right. So I'm gonna ask you a question because there's a
sure.
there's a scripture there's a scripture in the Bible that says that your gifts will make room for you, right? So because you're currently operating in your gifts, making songs, doing songwriting, screenwriting, or writing, period, would you say that your gifts has made room for you, opened up doors for you, or provided any opportunities for you?
Oh, definitely. It definitely has, especially music now. I feel like I, you know, every artist, well, I don't know about every artist, but most artists, they want to be able to make money from their music. And so now I feel like I've definitely gotten to the point where I'm like, wow, I'm actually making a living off making music. And so for sure
Wow.
that, definitely, definitely, yes.
Wow, that's good. That's good. So, in what ways now are you currently operating in your gifts? Like, what are you doing now that you say, you know what, this is me operating in my gifts?
What am I doing now?
Yeah.
Well, I think the trouble that we can get into when we feel like we have found our gift or found our talent or whatnot is that we can get comfortable in that. Like, oh, I'm gifted in making music, or I'm gifted in whatever the case may be, and then we don't take the time to work on that gift. So for me, I feel like I'm really in that process of really trying to sharpen my skills, sharpen my gift, so that it opens even more doors and more opportunities. And that's kind of really where I'm operating. I guess I'm operating in the sharpening side right now. You know what I mean? Because um, you just never know what opportunity or who's going to call you, and it's just being ready. It's just always
Right.
being ready.
Right. That's it's amazing you say that because in my book, Gifted by the Creator, One of the things I talk about is not only so it's only three chapters in the book. It's only three chapters. The first chapter
Cool.
deals with discovering your gift. The second chapter deals with developing your gift, and I feel like that's what you just spoke on. You spoke on that developmental stage of like, how do I get this gift to a place where I can operate it in its fullest capacity?
Right.
Because before I can operate in anything, I want to know what I'm doing and how to
Right.
do it to its best potential. And I feel like that's where you are. And I feel like a lot of people don't take that time like you're taking to develop that gift, because once we discover it, typically we want to run and operate in it and then we'll fail. And then we're like, well, why am I failing? And then it's like there was no growth. In the
Right.
developmental stage is where you grow. So one of the things I talk about in my book is in order to grow, we must learn to say no. At
Mm.
first, I feel like we learn to say no to ourselves. We got to
Yeah.
learn to say no to us. It's things that we want that we got to sometimes tell ourselves no. And that's where we start to exercise discipline. And I kind of dive deeper into it in the
Right.
book, and I don't want to give a lot of it away, but you're right on track. I mean, that's the best thing to do. Once you've discovered that gift, you start to develop that gift, and then you start to operate in that gift. And I know we've shared some things because we've talked personally, and I applaud you. I mean, to have your music one made and then placed somewhere where a television show can say, "Hey, I like this song. I want to add it to my show."
Right.
You've done that work. The Bible says that
Right.
faith without works is dead. So a lot of people got faith that things will happen, but they aren't doing the work. And it's in the work that manifestation really takes place. So I'm glad that you're doing the work and you're doing the necessary things to get your music out there, get it heard, get your writing skills out there, get them seen and heard, and then people reach out to you for more and more work. So do you currently have like a vision and a mission for your business as of right now?
Uh, Not as right now, but I did want to touch on something you just said, which was really great and kind of resonated with me as far as like saying no. Um,
Hmm.
I think when you do have this gift that God has given you, a lot of times we don't actually want to operate in that gift. It's easier for us to say no. Maybe we feel like the role to maximizing this gift is going to take a long time and there's things that need to happen now. I know I went in that situation where it's like going from job to job trying to just do whatever while still trying to develop and operate in my gift. And there's multiple times where God said, that's not going to work for you. That's
Mm,
not working. You have to say no and you have to trust me with the gift that I gave you, that is going to
wow,
make room for you. And a lot of
that's
times
good.
that's hard to have that faith to be like, yeah, 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 like I trust you, God. This is it, because you're looking at bills, you're looking at, responsibilities, you're looking at a lot of different things. And so for me, I feel like I've been hard headed for a long time, where it took me a long time to say I'm an artist. I'm a music artist. I would go around the
Right,
bush like, well, I make music, but it wasn't like confident. Now I'm confident, like, yeah, this is what I do. It doesn't matter what anyone says about me or whatever. It doesn't sway my position and where I stand on my gift right now. But 5 years ago, or in 2015, when I was coming back in Cali, I had stopped doing music for a few years. I stopped doing music and then I started doing it again in like 2018. My brother's like, you should put out a song every day. So we were doing that every day, putting out a song. Got a little mobile gimbal, $100 on Amazon. You don't need a lot of things. You don't need
right,
a lot.
right,
That's the thing.
right.
We recorded at our apartment making songs, and that was the first time I opened up a door. Someone said, "Hey, I like you. I need a female rapper to be on this song for this show." And it's called Ball in the Family. And I was like, bro, I watch Ball in the Family every day. That's with LaMelo Ball, Lonzo Ball, and Jello Ball when they were having their show and stuff like that. They're three ball brothers that play in the NBA, or two of them do. Long story short, it took that, like, our brother's like, yo, you gotta, if this is what you want, you got every day. Why are you slacking? Like, every day you should be putting out a song, and that was like the first time I was like, wow, he's right. You know, it's not just
Right.
sitting on one song that you did 5 years ago, 3 years ago, and be like, oh, this is it, this is it. I'm a woo woo, I'm an artist, I'm do this. It's really developing that every day and really denying everything else that's gonna sway you away from your gift, from really sharpening that tool. So yeah, I just wanted to say that.
Okay, that's good. That's good. I'm glad because most people are, you're absolutely correct. Most people do struggle with it daily. And I believe that, so in the book, one of the things I talk about is the fact that we have three things we have to feed every single day. We got to feed our mind, we got to feed our bodies, and we got to feed our soul. If any one of those three things are lacking, we begin to struggle in our lives. You can struggle mentally, you can struggle physically, and you can struggle in your soul. You can struggle spiritually. You know what I'm saying? So
Right,
if every day you're not waking up and reminding yourself who you are and what you were created to do, you'll fall victim to just about anything, especially anything that social media predicts as you're scrolling, anything the world say that's happening. You'll start to adapt to things around you, and that's why it's important that we feed ourselves. Because if we don't feed ourselves, we'll allow outside influences to feed us, and then we'll
right.
start to believe those outside influences. So if social media is saying, okay, in this day and time, everybody's struggling with their identity, you can be like, oh, I must be struggling with my identity too. I don't know who I am.
Yeah,
And that may not be the case. You may not be struggling with your identity. It's just that many people are having a hard time reminding themselves daily who they are and what they were created to do, and building that confidence on a daily basis, because that's
right,
something that has to be done. Every day I wake up, I have to remind myself. And even the Bible says, you got to renew your mind daily. So if
right,
I don't wake up every day and remind myself, or have, like what you said, a vision board, look at your vision board to remind yourself who you are and what you're supposed to be doing and what your goals are. And that's why I was asking about having a vision and a mission, because that's one of the things I really, really push in my book, is making sure everybody, no matter who they are or what they do, they have a vision and a mission. Because your vision is where you want to be, your mission is how you're going to get there. And you want to write those things down so you can start to remember it every day. If in case you ever forget, you wake up, you're having a bad day or off day, you can look at your vision and say, oh, okay, that's right. This is where I want to be. Then you can look at your mission and say, okay, these are the things I need to be doing to get there. You know. But that's good. I know we're coming close to the end of our time here, and I just want to ask you, Julisa, how can people support you and what you have going on?
you can follow me on social media at it's Julisa. I got a website, it's julisa.com. Don't forget the it's part. When I tell people, oh, it's
Hey,
Julisa, they just put in Julisa, but you got to put the it's part there too. Um, so it's Julisa, www.itsjulisa.com. That's where you can support me and follow me and do more things. But for now, everything will be on the website. Yeah.
that's good. Good. Now, one last question I want to ask everybody that I bring on as a guest. What kind of advice would you give a younger version of yourself, a younger you, knowing what you know now? If you had to
Uh,
go back and tell a younger you some advice, what would that advice
my advice for my younger self, my younger me.
be? Hmm.
Dang, there's a lot. Um,
I want to tell her so much.
I would say, I would really say, whatever the dreams and visions that God has given you, don't be swayed by people that don't want to support you or don't believe in you. Um,
Mm,
I
that's
felt
good.
like a lot of things that I wanted to accomplish, I allowed people's opinion to kind of get in there and seep into those things, and second guessed and doubted myself for a lot of stuff. So I would tell my younger son, hey, if that God gave you that, He gave you that for a reason, and keep sharpening, keep honing that skills, and you will find the right people that see your vision.
Wow, I like that. I
And
like
another
that.
thing I would say also, I just thought
Okay,
about it, like,
okay, give it to us.
it's what is it? It's invest in yourself, invest in your mental health, invest in your self development, invest in that
Mm,
early,
yeah.
don't because doing it now is very possible, But once we get older, we become more stubborn. Our ways of thinking, our ways of doing are kind of embedded in who we are. You know, that's why they say a young kid, you can teach a young kid can learn multiple languages a lot faster than somebody that's older.
Right.
So I would definitely say work on your self development earlier.
Right. Always be learning. That's been the saying since I've been growing up. Everybody in my circle in my life, they always say, always be learning, never stop learning.
Right.
So yeah, that's good advice. I appreciate your time, Jaleesa.
Appreciate you,
It's
William.
oh, thank you. I
I'm
appreciate that.
excited for your book. I want to read it. You know, I better get an autograph copy and all of that.
Oh, you got it. You got it. Oh, for sure. I'm doing a book signing hopefully in June.
Cool.
Hopefully I'll be able to release the book. I think I'll have it released online within the next few days so people can
Okay.
start to pre-order the book now if they want. I did just get the website kind of up and running for pre-orders. But in the next few days, next up and coming days, people will be able to order the book. And I'm excited about that. I'm excited about this podcast being to sit down with gifted individuals such as yourself and hear some of your story. I know it ain't all of it, but hearing some bits and pieces and being able to share with the world what your gifts are and what God is doing through you. So I definitely appreciate your time. I love you and I like you too. So we'll
Love you
uh
too, fam.
we'll talk soon. I appreciate you, Jaleesa.
All right. Have a good
All right.
one.
All right, you too. All right.
Bye.